Alrighty then, who is ready for the second weekend in a row of Formula 1? Not me, actually, because just like last week, I didn't realise it was like today. I thought it was in 24 hours time. Excuse me. So I'm still very ill, and I've had no sleep, but we're here anyway. We're dialed in. Let's do it. Bang. Right. The short stream is a little bit backed up right now because they changed the. Obviously, they changed the track. Oh, they've changed it again. Why is the track now the size of Latvia? Who has cooked with that one then? I literally just spent 5 minutes changing it all, and now they've made it all, like, absolutely humongous for some reason. Covers up, like, half the screen. Ah! Right, we'll put that there, but why have you changed it again, boss? Dying. Yeah, I will be coughing a lot today. For some reason, all my illnesses have gone, except I've still got a cough. So it's just cringe. Like, just go away. You know what I mean? Right. Well, I think that's that sorted then. Chinese Grand Prix practice 1. Yeah. Yeah. So he's pretty good. Nice one. And the Motorsport F1 lad is back again. Blood is locked in on the Foot Crew homepage, waiting for the go live. Your top 5 for the sprint. I don't know, mate. I really don't know. I was meant to do the stream yesterday where I do a 100% race on F1 24 to predict it. I just forgot and couldn't be bothered. So I'm just gonna say random names and just sort of hope they come true, that kind of thing. I'm gonna say, piss off. I feel like there's such little options to go with at like the top. I think this whole season, apart from the odd race, it's going to be either Verstappen, Norris, or Piastri. I don't think the Ferraris or even the Mercedes are anywhere near close enough to. I was going to say Red Bull, but it ain't really Red Bull. It's Verstappen. They're not really close to him. I'm going to say Verstappen wins the sprint. Piastri second. Norris third. Hamilton fourth. Russell fifth. It's a bit dead, but I feel like the gap between like the top of the midfield and like the middle is just ginormous. Like the gaps between like Red Bull and McLaren down to like Mercedes and Ferrari, and then down to like Alpine and Williams. I feel like that gap is so massive. You're not gonna see too many surprising results. Well, I don't know. After Williams last week, I don't know. Maybe little Carlos Sainz, a bit of revenge, you know, comes out of nowhere and gets a win. That'd be really cool, actually. Sainz winning in a Williams, even if it was a sprint. I'd like that a lot. I mean, obviously sprints don't count as wins, but I still think that'll be a cool thing. Oh, well, because they moved the track and made it the size of Manhattan, at least I can now move my chats into a more suitable position, so that's nice. Oh! You can tell, like, it's about to start because Ollie Behrman's coming out. McLaren, no mini DRS. I saw something about that. I did see something about that, although I'm not entirely sure what it meant because I didn't even know they had mini DRS. And if that's the same thing, apparently it affected everyone, so is there really a point in getting rid of it? Probably not. We are going to start, though, in about 30 seconds' time, for an hour of watching cars drive around. At least this practice should be at least a little bit entertaining, purely because, well, they only get the one practice, of course. So they'll have to do everything. Set up, long run, quali run, the whole shebang has to be done. Or, I mean, unless you want to just go do an Ollie Bearman, you know, go into quali. I mean, he had a gearbox issue in quali, but go into quali and just stink out the gaff and not really do anything. I really hope Ollie doesn't, like, cock up today. Like, I've messed up that. Yeah, no, I really, really hope that Ollie, like, not cooks. I don't mean, like, go and, you know, light the world on fire. But just, like, just be humble down in, like, P16 or something. Be close to his teammate. Don't crash, is what I'm saying. I mean, to be fair, he didn't crash. For the entirety of the Grand Prix last week, it's just... he was last, I think, the entire time. So, that's pretty good. Although he is first out immediately, wanting to refresh the mental, you know? Everyone's going to do push laps. I hope so. Because I need some sort of fun. Not being funny, I've had 2 hours sleep to be here. And I want to go back to bed. And no, I've woken up to watch a practice session. So it better be bloody good. You know? It better be stellar. Although we are seeing a full suite of medium tyres at the moment. I need to stop making tea, it just doesn't work. I see someone binning it. I don't actually know what the conditions are, but if there's a little bit of drizzle, someone's putting it in a wall, because that just happens at this track. I mean, me personally, I know it's obviously a bit different, but I utterly despise driving on this track. I mean, most of it is bearable, but it's just that at first, like, big, weird, like, I don't even know what it is, like, tumor-shaped corner. And then, I like, from turn 5 to 8, I quite like, and then, apart from that, all the rest of it is so dead. It's one of the only tracks that I just refuse to, like, drive at, because it's just so horrible. Obviously, it's probably quite a bit different in real life. I mean, I wonder if it's just as bumpy. It's very bumpy, I've realised. Especially around, like, turn 8 and 9 and 10, where you're going really, 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 really fast, and then it's bumpy. There was a crash in F1 Academy. Well, that's not all too surprising. Most of them have very small car experience, and they're in F4 cars. Or actually, isn't it worse than F4, like a little bit? Although I think they are mostly comparable to F4. I don't want to go on about too much, but I don't understand the point of F1 Academy. I understand the reason to get, like, more women into motorsport, and that's great. It's just, you're putting them in the worst cars, and then if you win, what happens then? Like, what do you do if you win the F1 Academy? Because, like, you don't get put in F1, you don't get put in F3, or even normal F4. I feel like if you actually want to be an F1 driver, no matter where you are, what you are, no matter anything, you got to do it the normal way of going through karting, F4, F3, F2, F1. Or even just do a Verstappen, just skip F4 and F2 and just go straight to F1 after one season of European F3. So far, Pierre Gasly is fastest by a second. I'm going to quickly get up last year's results, just so we can get a little bit of comparison. Now, if I want to see if this trend carries on, because in Australia, every single car, Albon off. Oh, my shit must be delayed. Yeah, last week, the cars were about a second quicker than last year. So I want to see if that carries on. I mean, we could hit the refresh angle, but yeah, okay, no, this is as up to date as my thing goes, so I don't know if you're just in the future, or He might have already gone off and just driven back on, to be fair. I'm not too sure, but we'll keep an eye on that. Maybe it's there. I don't know. George Russell's now fastest. I mean, we've had 5 cars already, all sort of within half a second in the 35 area. You can also make it 7. Oh no, 6, because Alonso has popped up as well. So last year, the fastest time was a 36.3. Lawson in gravel? Oh, please. Oh, please. 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 How far ahead must you be? Because I'm pretty sure there's no gravel where he currently is. Oh, if I get to see that on here, what a blissful experience that would be. I've already explained the situation with Lawson. I actually quite like him as a person. I feel like if I met him, if we had a chat, he's lovely. It's just my favourite driver got the sack and he's in their place. And in my opinion, Yuki Tsunoda or even Daniel Ricciardo for half a season should have been in that seat before Lawson. But anyway, that's all you need to know with that one. So yeah, last year, the fastest time was a 36.3. We already have the top 7 way faster than that. George Russell is 36.3. 1.1 seconds faster already. I mean, was it a sprint last year as well? It definitely was, because wasn't the sprint Verstappen, Lando, Perez? Yeah. So it's the same format, and we are 8 minutes in, medium tyres, and we are already 1.2 seconds faster. Holy shit. Actually, to be fair, it could have been a bit damp, because I remember it rained in... I don't know if it was the sprint quali, but it definitely rained in the sprint, so... Yuki said the track is more grippy compared to last year? Okay. Well, Yuki Tsunoda has solved everything. Cheers, mate. I rate that from you. Do we have a team radio? Oh, we do. I just have to scroll down. Right. Hang on. This might be the team radio. Oh, wait. You can't hear it. Hang on. Wait. Shut up! Oh, it is, to be fair. He literally said that... Oh! Hey! Chili con carne! Oh, into the 34s already. He's almost 2 seconds quicker than last year. Hang on, let me change the configuration of my audio settings. So now, yeah, this is literally what you just said.
The truck is quite grippy compared to last year, much more.
There you go. We also have an Albon team radio.
There's something loose around my pedals.
There's what now? There's what? It's a bit dodgy if you ask me. Hamilton's on a decent lap so far. You know, purple sector 2. That's all fun. Pierre Gasly. No, Jack Doohan has gone up into P3. Gasly's fastest. Hamilton then goes fastest. A 34.3. Little 34.3. That's nice. Verstappen improving. Crosses the line. Go. Alright, yeah, fair play. Okay, just go 3 tenths quicker. And Leclerc crops up as well into P2. That's nice. Bortoletto, who I'm proper rooting for, crosses the line. That is horrific, but, you know, we'll give him a chance. Lando Norris. Little purple sector 1 for the boys. Go on, Shan. Hey! What? Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. Fair enough. Hulkenberg goes P12. That's not a bad lap. George Russell improving, although he is about 2 tenths behind Lando. Great sector 3, purple sector 3, and goes P2. Oscar crosses the line, horrible lap, fails to improve. Alonso goes up to P7. Lance Stroll starts a lap, so he was actually starting one. Lawson crosses the line to also... Oh no, he's not even doing anything, he's just strolling about. Half a second? Yeah. So, we are already... I can't believe I'm saying this. We are already... Bear in mind... Wait, Ocon crossed the line, P14, not bad. Bear in mind, I've said that quite a lot, but bear in mind that I understand Yuki said it's more grippy, and that is the main reason why. But we are 10 minutes into this practice, and we are already 3 seconds faster than last year's fastest lap time. They weren't doing a 36.3 after 10 minutes. They did a 36.3 after 60. We've done 10, and they're doing 33.3. Jesus Christ, what are these lap times going to be when they get on the softs? Isaac Hajar, is he on a lap? No one's doing hot laps anymore. Boring. Actually, Alex Albon is, to be fair, and he might get the good old slipstream down the unnecessarily ginormously long straight. Although, to be fair, I never really noticed, but the main straight is only a little bit shorter than the back straight, and yet it feels the back straight is so much unbelievably longer. Oscar Piastri crosses the line, green sector 2. Why have you done that, mate? How have you done that? You went yellow, green, and yet Nick's P1. Alright, sure. Yeah, I think Alex Albon is going to be the first across the line with a lap. Yeah, he is. Where's he going to go? It's alright. Next to his teammate, Yuki Tsunoda. Purple sector 2. Yeah, alright, sure. Want to make a bet? Well, I ain't got no money to bet with, but we can make an imaginary bet. I also don't want to get banned on YouTube, because I think that's illegal, but yeah, no, we'll give it a go. I'm trying to move stuff. Right, Norris is starting a lap. Yes, he is, so we'll have a little... We'll keep a little eye on him. And, Yuki is now round the final corner. Oh, my son. Honestly, after the purple sector 2, I just thought it'd be a bit better than that. Hamilton's sliding when he's just gone purple in sector 1. So he might have a little bit of oversteer moments going around these stupidly unnecessarily fast corners. Hadjar crosses the line and goes up to P12. Antonelli crosses the line, goes P6. Obviously had an unbelievable debut. I do think it was a little bit overrated. Still worthy of the highest praise, of course, because he did go from, like, P16 to, like, P8 on his own. But, of course, he was one of the drivers, like your Hulkenberg and Stroll, that pitted when Lando did when it started raining, so they got a massive advantage compared to anyone else, and that's what got him up into P4. Although, to be fair, he still had to go and overtake Albon, so that was just, yeah, really good. Jack Doohan goes P11. We have Russell with another purple sector 2, only 17 milliseconds quicker than Tsunoda's. Hamilton rounds the final corner, going purple and green. Where's he gonna go? I'm excited. Crosses the line and goes P1. Hey! Alright, Hamilton. And Leclerc, despite having 2 yellow sectors, finds a little bit of time and crops up into P5. We have Max Verstappen starting a hot lap. We have Lance Stroll starting a hot... No, he's buggered off into the pits. Lazy sod. Liam Lawson crosses the line. To go. Oh, he stays P19. Oh, I'm so happy. Russell crosses the line. Nick's P1 by 2 times. Ah! Ah! Oh, Posh Spice. Where's that come from? You know? Ollie Behrman starts a hot lap. Ocon is finishing a hot lap. It looks pretty dismal, to say the least, but those Hasses do look dismal. Oscar Piastri, purple sector 1, as Ocon moves up to P15. Yeah, Piastri, purple sector 1. Of course, Piastri made that horrendous cock-up in Melbourne at his home Grand Prix. Weren't his fault, to be honest, but Lando kept it on track, Oscar didn't, and that's all it came down to. POV times on softs, yeah. They're going to be, what, another 2-3 seconds quicker? Maybe even more? Actually, maybe not that extreme, but honestly, I feel like getting quali spec, and we could see some 29s. Lando Norris, purple. Alright. That's pretty good. Max Verstappen goes up to P3. We currently have 4 different teams in the top 4. It's going to stay that way for a little while because Oscar's going to cross the line. and he actually improves and stays P4. Now it's Lando's time. He's got purple, looking for another purple, bubble. As Albon goes P6, and why has he done that then? Lando's buggered off into the pits. There you go, Ollie. That is so much better from you. Well done. Ollie Behrman goes P10. I think maybe mid 26 or 20. Really? You think they go another 6 seconds faster? I mean, to be fair, we are only a quarter of the way through practice, so, I mean, yeah, they could still get the setups done. And soft tyres, so maybe it just... 6 seconds seems a bit extreme, but honestly, I'm completely with it. If we can see some 27s and 26s, that would be outrageous. And, yeah, this... I'm hoping it... I mean, obviously, it's not going to last forever. I do think that Lawson is the kind of driver to, like... Well, actually, no, I say he's the kind of driver. He's not really. As Alonso goes P6. This kid is different. This kid is another level. I know he's got a good car, but to be 2 tenths behind your teammate with a purple Sector 2, that is outrageous. You are special. Right, last year's quali. We'll do sprint quali. The sprint quali was a... Oh, well, you can't read... Okay, we won't do the sprint quali because it rained. You had a 36-4 in Q1, 36 dead in Q2, 58 dead in Q3. What if you do normal quali? Yeah, okay, so last year's pole time was 33.6. Yeah, so we're already, you know, about there. We already have the top as... Oh, Hamilton. I tell you what, Hamilton's cooking today. He's on one. Anthony Hype Real. I'll be honest, I had never heard of him before he got signed to F1. I had no idea who he was. Leclerc crosses the line and goes P1. I feel I've noticed that's a trend I've noticed. As soon as you think that Hamilton's doing right well, Sainz comes along and... Or not Sainz, Leclerc comes along and just beats him by like 3 tenths. Sainz goes P8, so that's nice. But, yeah, we already have the top sort of 8 are already faster than last year's pole. So, yeah. You know, Antonelli, I remember, he got signed to F1, was it about halfway through the F2 season, or somewhere around that? And I was watching F2, but I just thought of him as any other driver in that series, like your Joshua Dirksons, or your Fonarales, or, you know, your Victor Martins, Richard Verschoor, just a driver that's just cropped up and he's just sort of there. Not an incredibly good prodigy that's gone straight into F1 and is cooking. So fair play to him. And yeah, I mean, I've said it a numerous times on this channel, but I don't really like him for the pure fact that he is actually younger than me. And that, I can't get my head around that there is someone driving in Formula 1 that is younger than me. You know, that doesn't feel real. That makes me feel extremely old. And to be fair, the internet doesn't help, because when you go on the... Like, with me, I spend most of the day, not like on the internet as in I just scroll Twitter all day, but I'm always like, you know, making content or doing like my graphic design work on the side. But like, the internet sort of thinks that when you get to like the age of 22, you're gonna die of old age tomorrow. So being 18, it makes me feel so incredibly old. But anyway, let's move on. Russell, purple, you're correct. Purple Sector 1, horrific Sector 2 though. I wouldn't be surprised if he sacks it off. But it looks like he's not actually. He looks like he's giving it some. Is he giving it some? Oh, he's giving it some. Crosses the line. And Alright. Fair enough. That'll do. I literally just said... I just said... That's a horrible sector 2. Is he just going to sack it off and then... That. Alright, fair play. That'll do. Yeah, last one. That's really cool. Jesus. Right. Merc versus Ferrari versus Max versus McLaren calling it. It's basically just everyone. You might as well chuck in Williams as well. Why not? Get them involved. I mean, they're not that far off. Although, to be fair, looking at the overall leaderboard, there's only 7 tenths, no, it's 6 tenths between Russell in a Mercedes and Stroll in the Aston Martin. Like, it's not that much of a difference. Wait, no, I can't read. That's, no. Hang on, my apologies. I literally can't read. That's 1.7 seconds. Yeah, that's horrible from me. Ferrari looked to have improved. Definitely. I mean, they weren't doing too bad last week. It's just when the rain started falling and they left Hamilton out about 3 laps longer than they should have. So, yeah, that was a horrible decision. And if they, you know, obviously it's hindsight, but if they pitted the Ferraris when Lando went in, they would have probably got on the podium. So that's just horrible, you know, average Ferrari strategy. It's always funny when I remember F1, like the official F1 made a post of Hamilton not like it. You say had your wrong wet, so I'll tell you what, every single driver has come into the pits, so I wouldn't be surprised if it has actually started raining. Or it might have just not. But yeah, so they made an official compilation of Hamilton, like, sort of losing his shit at his engineer. I think his name's Ricky. The 2024 times again, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, like, Hamilton sounds so angry with his engineer. Like, he kept saying, like, shut up and let me get on with it. And then, like, at the end of the race, he was like, mate, you could have got so much more out of that. And he was not happy. Well, to be fair, that engineer has a history of just not really doing anything. Like, it doesn't really provide information. If he says, like, if you ask him what's the weather going to do, he either says stay calm or checking. So, 2024 lap times. So, practice, we went through that. That was a, practice was a 36.2, which was actually by... I didn't even realise, that was by Lance Stroll. What happened last year? Oh, yeah, of course. Last year at this stage, Aston were probably second best car. Yeah, of course. Right, so sprint quali, which doesn't really count because it was raining, but it sort of counts. The fastest dry lap time was a 36 dead. And then in the wet, it was a 58 dead. And then quali was a 33.6, which I think that was dry. So, yeah, we have Russell, who is already 1.3 seconds quicker than that. Yuki crash? No! No! Where's he? How do you even crash there? There's nothing to crash with. Oh, has he lost the rear going around there? Joking? Oh, you arsehead! You made me sad then. Absolute twit. Yeah, so 33.6. We already have the top 10 are quicker than last year. And I don't mean last year's practice, last year's quali. Yeah, alright. So we are now almost halfway through the session. And no one's really doing anything. I don't really know why. Like, you're telling me every single team had the exact same program apart from Sauber. And they're just sort of all coming to the pits at the same time. Well, what for, exactly? I'm not too sure. We do have the Saubers out still. What do I even... mystery yawn. That might be a sign to crack open the Red Bull. Hang on, Antonelli's looking to come out. Wonder if we get softs. I actually don't think they do softs in practice. I feel like they they try and save them for sprint quali. I mean, the car isn't going to change much between practice and quali, apart from, like, the tyres and fuel load and all that, so... I reckon, obviously, more than anything, they're just trying to do the setup and then get that done, and then you're sort of sorted, but, I want to see softs. Yes, please, that'd be fun. Just see what absolutely diabolical lap times they can cook up. Hello is actually improving, kind of, on this lap. I'm not sure how he's managed it, but he has gone green in Sector 2. Goes round the final corner. Is he going to improve, though? He does improve. And stays last. I'll tell you what. See, like, this is what I don't get, right? This is what I fail to understand. When you're in Sauber's position, where for the last, like, I mean, when were they last good? They were last good, what, like, just before 2018? So they've been, like, the slowest team, or the second slowest, or at worst, the third slowest, for 7-8 years in a row now. And especially this year and last year. I know Hulkenberg did get I mean, to be fair, they could turn it around, but I mean, last weekend at practice, they were horrible. Qualifying, somehow Gabriel got into Q2. That was incredible. And then Hulkenberg got a bit lucky with the rain. I mean, you still had to, you know, get the strategy right, but, you know, when the rain came, he got lucky off others' misfortunes and got that P7. But they look the slowest. Maybe, actually, no, they're probably ahead of Haas, but point is, they're all the way at the bottom. What I'm saying is, how do these teams stay at the bottom? Everyone gets the same money to spend. Is it just... There's two things I can think of. One, it's like the foundations. So obviously, with like a Red Bull, their car is already good, so they just improve on that. Whereas Sauber have to basically overhaul their whole car until they get it right. Or, is it just like a staff skill issue? Because like, I said it last week. Apart from like Williams now, who have moved up to like 4th fastest, and Aston Martin last year for the opening few races, nothing's really changed in like the leaderboard as Hulkenberg goes P18. What's your fantasy team? I don't do fantasy, mate. I feel like if I had like a couple of mates that had any sort of interest in F1, or like if my family members did it, I'd probably do it just because I feel like having a fantasy just on your own's a bit dead. I do the Premier League fantasy, but that's just because I just basically get a full West Ham team if I can. Like, as many West Ham past and like current players. I just leave it like that. But yeah, I've never done F1 fantasy, to be honest. I've never really understood the point of it. I also feel like the prices are like a bit different. I mean, on like the Premier League one, like even the best players are like 9-10 million, and you get like 100 million budget or whatever. Whereas like Antonelli, I mean, rightfully so after last week, but he's very much like triple the price of the other ones. I mean, maybe there's nothing stopping me from going on Google now and making a fantasy. I believe the fantasy, I believe how it works is that it's like an hour before quali starts. So you're allowed to watch practice and get a sort of rough idea of where they are before making your team. Although they probably do some like live odds and like change the prices. But yeah, no, F1 fantasy could be quite cool, I guess. Now, looks very sunny. Oh, that's nice. I love a bit of sunshine. Had a very lucky spell recently in Britain. Rule Britannia, you know. Usually, especially in the area I live, most of England is like it because that's just sort of that's what it is. Most of the time, it's cold, like very cold and like gloomy. Last sort of 2 weeks, it's been only sun, and I have been relishing in it. And by that, I mean not going outside at all and just having my window open. Nice. Do we have any lap times cooking? Yes, Liam is out of the session or out the pits. Oh, please be out the session, please. I just want to say, I said it last week. I don't remember exactly how far. I think I said Gilles Villeneuve and Niki Lauda. And you know what? Because if it was recently, Eddie Jordan, if you are looking down right now, I just want to thank you. You know, I'm not a religious person. I don't believe in any form of religion. But I believe in the afterlife. And I believe that they have looked down and blessed me with making Liam Lawson have 2 stinkers in a row. So if it stops now, you've done more than enough, and I thank thee. Let's move on. I actually just got... No, that... That's how you know I'm passionate about Liam doing shit. I actually got giddy at Liam being out. I actually full-on, like, went giddy. Where, like, you can't contain your excitement because Liam Lawson can't compete in practice. It's just because I do just care that much. I genuinely do, like, miss Perez that much. Battery failure. I believe he had, like, mechanical issues last weekend as well. I mean, of course, it made no real difference at all because he still went out in Q1 after, like, having a spin at the final corner. And he still crashed in the race after spending most of it at the bottom 3. But I believe in practice, he did have some form of mechanical failure. So, of course, he's getting a bit unlucky. I mean, we're halfway through the session. He's had half an hour's running. Not really, actually. He's had about 15 minutes of running. And he's not really... That's all he's got. And now he's got to go straight into quality. So, in a way, I do feel bad for him. Like, please keep doing shit, because it's really funny. It's also... Excuse me. It's also nice, just like... I mean, nice might not be the right word, but, like... Obviously, as a Sergio Perez, I don't want to sound like an absolute loser. So I'll just say is one of his... I like him. So, as a Perez enjoyer, when you go on Twitter and the only thing you see is him getting constantly abused, constantly told to retire and leave, Red Bull oblige, kick him out, and then put the 4th worst driver that they could have in that car. And now he's doing even worse than Perez. It's just nice. Like I said, though, by round 5 or 6, I reckon he will lock it in, and that's just how it goes. I'll still stand by the fact, though, that if Perez was at, like, a different team, basically any other from Red Bull, that their car wasn't so extremely on the front. Like, I reckon a Williams or an Aston Martin, Perez would be by far one of the best drivers on the grid. But anyway, enough about Perez. I talk about him enough. I mean, I've got his helmet behind me and posters of him everywhere. Lewis lockup, okay, that's good info. That means he's going to sack off his lap. And he does, that's nice. Do we have anyone else on laps? Not really. I think we might have some race runs. Long runs, that's the one. Long runs, you know. Big snap for Norris. I like how you're telling me every individual detail. Like, not just, like, crashes and whatever, or weather changes. Like, every little minor thing is great. I've got, like, a full-on UAV. I mean, one thing I don't understand is why did everyone come into the pits at the same time? And everyone's left the pits at it. Do you know what it could be, actually? You remember? I wouldn't be surprised if every team does it, just because it's, like, a very common idea. But after 25 minutes, after doing hot laps and long runs on mediums, they come into the pits and change the setup accordingly, and then they go back out again on the same tyres and see how it is. That is probably what they do. That sounds really obvious and stupid, but yeah, that probably is it. Alonso complaining about snappage and asking if it was tailwind. Actually, do you know what? I completely forgot about the team radios. Let's get some of them in. It's probably what you were on about.
So we do think that snap, it was in the tailwind.
Yeah, but it's for everybody. I mean, it's not the wind following us.
I love him so much. Has it happened for everyone else? I don't think the wind is following us. That is class. God, I hope Alonso drives until he's 57. thought, actually, I wonder if, like, someday I'll just stop watching F1 and just sack it off. Because most of my interests and hobbies don't last beyond, like, 2 weeks to a month. After that, I sack it off. Every single thing in my life. This is the only thing that has lasted continuously as an interest, and it's a bit more of an interest, more of a fanatic, over the last 4 years. That's actually mad to think about, that I was watching F1 and consuming any content to do with F1 2.5 years, or no, yeah, 2.5 years before I started my F1 channel. Like, it didn't actually become an F1 channel until December 2023, and I watched F1 2021. And I have like 2,000 hours on the F1 2021 game and 22 game. That is pretty crazy to think about. Anyway, Jack Doohan crosses the line, goes P14. I mean, in my opinion, I know he crashed on lap 1, but Doohan was very impressive last week. You know, he got into Q2, should have got into Q3, but Hamilton spun and brought out the yellow flags, and obviously got a bit unlucky in the race. But of course, I mean, 4 of the 6 rookies crashed out. That seems too many. Wait. No, 4. Yeah, no, it is 4. No. Yeah, no, it is. Wait, there's 6 rookies? Bortello, Lawson, Behrman, Hadjar, Doohan, Antonelli. There's 6 rookies. Jesus wept. Lewis Radio. Yep. You are so locked.
Suggestion for turn 14, B-Ball 61, B-Mic 5.
On turn 14, 1-4, B-Ball 61.
I just got 2 different messages just now.
I tell you what, Lewis is hating, and I mean hating, this engineer. And to be honest, I don't hate him, but I do hate how he goes about his work. I mean, he literally just said 2 different things. Didn't he say, like, do B-Bow 14, and then, like, turn 14, B-Bow 16? Like, he just... Yeah, horrible. What you want Lando Norris's engineer, because he gives info and says it like a robot would. I mean, you got, like... I remember there was a clip from the Grand Prix last week where it was just before it started raining again, when Oscar and Lando both went off. Lando, from his engineer, I think his name's Will, he said, well, no, is it? I don't think it is Will now, because didn't he leave? Or whoever it is. They went like, rain, class 3 in 2.5 laps. Be careful around sector 3. And then you go to Peter Bonington, who is of course Antonelli's engineer, and he just went, it might rain soon. And it's just such a big difference. But I mean, at least he's easy to understand. I mean, that's not like, I don't know, like prejudice, I guess. Hang on, is Leclerc off? I believe Leclerc's off. No, he's got going again. He just stopped. He just felt like stopping. That's fine. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's not Ricky's fault that he can't like speak perfect English. But I mean, obviously, if you were also Italian, then you'd be easier to understand. But I feel like when you got Hamilton, who's been so used to that strong British accent of Bonington, going straight to an Italian, it's probably a bit tricky. I mean, I have a mate that speaks Spanish, and obviously has a strong Spanish accent. I ain't got a fucking clue what he's saying, because I've only, like, spoken to English people. But I think even with that like, sort of language barrier, or more accent barrier, I just don't think that geezer's very good at his job. But, I mean, who am I to complain, you know? I mean, I do feel like race engineers are one of the easier jobs on the F1 grid, because you just sort of relay information. But of course, how you present that information and when is, well, it could very realistically be the difference between winning and not winning, you know? I mean, think of Lando, I know it's a long time ago, but Russia 2021. if your engineer is saying to you, come into the pits now, rather than saying, do you want to pit, that's the difference. And apparently Lando's engineer was like, it might rain, but it should be okay, or something like that. And then Hamilton's engineer was like, no, it's going to piss down, come in the pits. And that was the difference. So yeah, I can't really complain, because I'm also just sat here watching and talking bollocks. So anyway, let's get back to the actual practice session. We are looking at a long run angle. We do have 18 drivers on track. The only cars that are not out is Arcon and Hadjar. I've also just noted that Lawson's back out. So obviously they've got that battery sorted. Maybe they put a new one in, which would be very impressive because that took like 10 minutes. But let's just hope he now spins and has to put another one in, because that'd be really funny. Hang on. When is sprint quali? Isn't it at 7:30? Oh, it is. Oh, Nelly. Antonelli radio. That's actually, I don't understand how you're doing it. But, like, not every single team radio comes through on here, and then you just know which ones do. Anthony Radio for everyone to hear.
Unblistering front left.
And we see other cars struggling with the front left.
Yeah, front left is gone.
I wasn't expecting him to sound so aggressive, but that is passion, that is confidence. Bro says it with chest. You don't get like a stroll that's like, yeah, my front right feels a little bit dead. He's like, no, my front left is dead. Listen to me. That's great. I'm really liking this Antonelli bloke. I had no idea who he is. I like him though. I think I said it last week. There was a clip of like him, and he actively remembers every single like qualifying lap he's done to the 10th. And he even knows what other drivers did. And I feel like if you know that, that's how you know he's just locked in. So, okay, right. So the situation is that I woke up. I actually woke up late. I was meant to wake up at 2:30. So I had an hour to get everything done. I actually woke up at 3. So I only had 15-20 minutes to set everything up and obviously wake up. And I managed it. So, this ends at 4:30. It's obviously my time, BST. Which is in 17 minutes. Then, it's a 3-hour break in between this and sprint. I first thought that the sprint quali was at 7 because it's usually 2.5 hours. However, it's actually, it's actually a 3-hour break between this ending and sprint quali starting. Huh. Alright. So, that means, although I'm only on like 3 hours sleep, which no one really cares, but it's just a fact, I'm gonna have to stay up until at least 8:30. I suppose that's not too bad. That's only 4 hours. That's fine. Not really seeing any improved laps at this stage. Like I said, I believe we are just getting long runs, sort of test out setups. Although everyone is coming back in, we are getting the little like stockpile up of cars coming back in. Could we see a little injury time 90+7 soft tire runs? That'd be very, very enjoyable. I'd like that a lot. I like how when you go on the F1 website, it says sprint. I mean, it says practice 1, 3:30 to 4:30. Fair, it's an hour long. Sprint quali says 7:30 to 8:14. Like they actually like fully like had it down to the minute. Not 8:15, which would have made a lot more sense. You know, you do it in increments of 15, 1/4 past, 1/2 past, 1/4 to, whatever. No, 8:14. That is when it will end. I mean, one red flag and that's knackered it. That ain't happening. At least sprint quali is like a lot shorter. than like normal quality in pretty much every other session, so I'll be fine. Definitely need to go blow my nose after this, because this stupid illness. I don't understand, though. I don't understand how I've got it, because I don't leave my room. The last time I left my room was 1.5 years ago. How have I got ill? No, I'm not... I don't know. A bit boring, this just staring into blank space, but nothing's happening, to be fair. We do have Norris coming back in. Doohan has stopped. But there's no yellow flag. So I'm going to assume that's either a bug or he's spun and he's starting again, because I was wrong. That's upset me. I mean, there's only like 10 minutes left, so it's not the biggest loss, but ow, just snapped my neck. Radio from Doohan, let's hear. Post-crash reaction.
I have an issue. No power steering. Car is switched off. Let me know your instructions.
Fucking relax, mate. Jesus Christ. Why is he like panicking? I've got no power steering. It's gone. Everything's shut off. It's having to go at me. There's a big red light playing. It's a big siren. Help me, please. Ah, wait, shut up. Like, the car's gone. It's not. It happens. Shut up. Christ. I get the feeling like it really isn't that big of a deal, mate. Doohan thought he was in a championship fight. That's what I'm saying. Like, why is he so stressed? Listen to the bastard.
I have an issue. No power steering. Car is switched off. Let me know your instructions.
What? Bro's just... Bro went to Abu Dhabi on lap 52, and he was running second, and there was a safety car. That's what that was. Oh, I like him. Obviously, I want him to do extremely well, but that is pretty funny how you have, like, a very average mechanical failure that does happen quite a lot, and happens to anyone. And when your car breaks down and you don't know what to do, be like, you know, it is, like, I feel like it's, I don't know, it is the first time it's happened, but, I mean, he's obviously had, I mean, knowing how them F2 cars work, he's probably had quite a lot of engine failures, you know? So, yeah, to be stressing like that, I mean, all you gotta do is pull over and go, car's dead, mate. And that's it, done. But yeah, no. That's unfortunate, really. I mean, he misses out on about 14 minutes of extra practice, and obviously, to be fair, so does everyone else. They miss out on another extra, like, 5-10 minutes. But I reckon he's got probably just about enough to go and actually have a decent quali, you know? I feel like that Melbourne, because it was like his home race, which I feel like everyone sort of forgot. That's actually a full. We've got 2 Australians and a New Zealander on the grid. If Ricardo was still here, we'd have 3 Australians and a New Zealander on a grid of 20. That's actually very impressive from, you know, the oceanic region. I mean, obviously Australia is ginormous, but there's like nothing in it apart from like the outskirts cities. So, to, you know, have so many incredible drivers come from there, that's pretty good. One thing I've noticed as well is that there aren't really that many Australians that come through like the junior ranks, like in F2, because they always get into F1. Be Jack done it, Lawson done it, fucking Ricardo done it, Piastri done it. Maybe they're just built different. Merc cooking Ferrari on the track dominance. Ooh, that's fun. Wait, Merc cooking Ferrari? I thought it'd be the other way around. Huh. I mean, to be fair, Russell is still 3 tenths ahead of Leclerc. The red flag is now gone, so everyone can come out. Sainz is instantly exiting the pits. Please be on softs. Please, please, please. Please! 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 I need soft tyres! Or at least just try and go quicker on your mediums. I don't even care. I need the colour green. I need the colour purple, not white or yellow. That's dead. Get out. I need green. I like green. It's a good colour. My whole bedroom used to be painted green, and it was the worst place in the world. It was just a green room with an IKEA desk shoved in the corner and a single bed currently lengthways from where I'm sitting to the thing behind me. I assume the pit lane ain't open yet because everyone's sort of queuing up. So Sainz exits. Please be on something fun. Please! Yes! 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 Oh, I'm so happy. Soft tyres are in motion. Yes! Duan smiling weird. Yeah, I crashed. Nice one, dickhead. Okay, so only like a few cars have come out, and everyone else has taken their time a bit. We've got Hamilton. Come on, Hamilton. Get out there, lad. Go on. Oh my. 7 minutes left. Everyone's going to do 1 or 2 quali laps. It is truly a great day to be a practice watcher. I mean, to be fair, apart from like the 15-20 minutes where you're doing red flag and everyone's doing long runs and in the garage, that was dead. But the rest of it, when the cars are actually on track, it's been another pretty good practice session. I mean, to be fair, my standards are quite low. You know, all I need for a good practice session is a couple of green sectors every now and again. You know, cars and drivers just wanting to improve their lap times. That's basically about it. And we have had that. So that's great. We are going to have Carlos Sainz first, though, on a hot lap to see what kind of lap times he can put in. I mean, considering we are in the low 32s on mediums, surely something diabolical gets cooked up. Mid 28? Maybe. Sainz crosses the line to get us underway. Here we go. He is going to have a little bit of traffic with Max Verstappen, though. My goodness, they brake so fast into that corner. I also just realised, like, looking at this live timing thing, just, like, very closely. The actual, like, dots don't, like, smoothly go around. They go in, like, straight lines, but keep, like, micro positioning. That's interesting. Sainz through Sector 1 at 24.8. Albon, 24.6. Lawson, 25 dead. Bortoletto, 25.2. Leclerc, 24.4. Purple Sector 1. Antonelli, 24.7. Alright. I tell you what, Albon is cooking Sainz on this lap. Albon is currently 3 tenths up on Sainz through the first 2 sectors. Hamilton at a 24.5. Lando Norris at a 24.3. Purple. Ugh. diabolical. Oscar Piastri comes through Sector 1, and he is going to do a 24.5. Sainz crosses the line. The first quali run ends with only a 33.1. I feel like that's really bad. Hulkenberg crosses the line to start a lap, and Albon goes second. That's a bit more like it, but he is still way behind Russell, and Russell actually fails to improve. Oh. Lawson crosses the line and goes P11. That's the highest he's been in his F1 career. Bortoletto crosses the line, P17, only a 34 dead. Leclerc, that's more like it. It's not a great, like, lap time, but he does go P1. Verstappen starts a lap. Antonelli goes up to P6, or P5, sorry. Yuki Tsunoda is starting a lap. Hamilton has a purple Sector 2 and goes a 10th behind Leclerc. That's a very solid effort. Well done, Lewis Hamilton. Norris crosses the line after 2 stinky sectors and splits the Ferraris. Then we have Oscar Piastri, who goes yellow through Sector 2, crosses the line and only goes P5. Behrman goes P8. Hey, I love that from Behrman. And then we have Alonso, who goes and puts it P7. Alright. Ocon, green and green, goes P11. Alright, so only about 2/10 off his teammate. And then we have Isaac Hadjar, who goes P13. And Hulkenberg, P16. We do have a couple more. We have Gasly, who is, I think Gasly's the final one. No, Gasly and Stroll. Gasly on a green and a yellow. Stroll, green and green. Currently up on Gasly by about 2/10. Gasly crosses the line. P10. I don't know where he's got that from. So that's 19 cars have done a fast lap now. Hang on, no, okay, Verstappen was on a fast lap and then sacked it off and went in the pits. Tsunoda rounds the final corner. Green and green. Line crossed. P9. I like it. I do like that, you know. That is nice. Bit of a letdown on the lap times, to be honest. I mean, we've only actually improved by 2/10 of a second. Russell didn't improve. He is still... That lap time was on mediums, so... The Red Bulls as well. Not great. 15 and 17. Gonna go to bed, see ya in a bit, mate. Thanks for stopping by again. And being my F1 UAV. No, is it no? Is it UAV? Yeah, no, it is UAV. I'll tell you what, that was very bad for, like, soft runs. The fact that everyone did a hot lap on the softs and everyone, like, barely improved. I mean, the actual gaps have gotten smaller. But, I mean... Yeah. I love the idea that Gabriel Bortoletto has done a lap on softs and he is still a 10th.5 slower than Jack Doohan on mediums, who hasn't been in the session for the last 20 minutes. Ferrari looking good. They are looking very nice. I hope to come into sprint quali and they're at least like top 5, you know? I feel like that'd be really good. 30 seconds left of this opening and only practice session, you know? The only one before we get straight into sprint quali. Bortoletto going for a 90+7 injury time final lap to try and put himself above the Alpine of Doohan, who obviously isn't here. And he's doing quite good. He's on 25.1 and a 28.2. So yeah, that Sauber is a right pig. Like, how do they make the car worse? It's pretty remarkable, I reckon, how you manage to get a car and make it worse than last year's when it was already the slowest. It's now even more so the slowest. And here comes Gabriel. Well, so actually, there's a couple more hot laps. Actually, everyone's doing another hot lap. Alright, fun. So, practice is now over. We do have a lot of lap times left, though. We have Bortoletto crossing the line. And he does go above Doohan albeit only by a 10th, but he does get the job done. Lando Norris went purple in Sector 2. Go! Yeah, alright. That's alright. That's not a bad lap, you know. Hang on a minute. Okay. I'm not sure what Lando just did in that Sector 3. He did a 39.4. Leclerc was a 39.7. Piastri a 40 dead. Alright. And Lando is one of only 2 drivers to get, and he's the first driver to go into the 1-minute 31s. Fair play. Hajar with a green middle sector, sacks it off. Hulk. Alright, was there just crazy track ramp at the end of the session? Because, well, Norris has gone fastest by half a second, and Hulkenberg's put it P6. Okay. Liam Lawson was on a hot lap as well, but he sacked it off. And I think that's going to be all for the hot laps. And I'm looking to see if anyone's driving at full speed. It looks like Alonso's giving it some, and I think that's it. And he might also just sacked it off. So I think with that, that's the final bit of running. There you go. That is practice complete. There is no more practice. Now I'm going to wrap things up rather quickly because, well, I'm thinking of either a power nap or I've got some stuff to do for content creation type shit. But that was actually a really, really fun practice. I did enjoy that. There are the final results. You know, Lando Norris P1 by half a second. Final lap. Unreal Sector 3. I reckon... See, this is the thing, right? The trend I've noticed with this track so far is that through Sector 1 and 2, you can be alright. Sector 3, for some reason, is where you gain the most time. Lando had a yellow sector and a green sector by only a little bit, and yet went P1 by half a second because his Sector 3 was so unbelievably good. So I reckon into, you know, quali, with, like, slipstreams and stuff like that, yeah, if you see a car that's doing pretty crap through the first 2 sectors, it is by no means over for them. We have, you know, it looks like, from this current leaderboard, it does look like it's going to be McLaren versus Ferrari. Like the good old, like, late 80s and early 90s. And then Williams came and ruined it all. And then they were pretty good. Well, actually, no, not late 80s. More like the late 2000s. Obviously, between, like, 2006 to 2008. Yeah. But, yeah, it looks like it's going to be Ferrari versus McLaren. But honestly, I reckon Mercedes are just as close. I mean, Russell's lap time, it is 8/10 off Lando's. But he's on medium tyres still. That lap was on medium, so I'm not too sure. I do think it's going to be the top 4 will be McLarens and Ferraris, and then Mercedes will like maybe crop one car in that top 5. But I'm going to head off. The sprint quality stream is ready to go. That will be on at 7:20 BST. I hate doing this, like staying up all night, 2 weeks in a row, but that is passion. No idea what the conditions are going to be like or anything like that. And yeah, we'll go from there. So, I'll see you a lot in 3 hours from now. A little bit under 3 hours from now. See you a lot later. And, wait, let me turn on auto stop. I like auto stop. Hang on. There we go. Alright, see you a lot later. Goodbye. Bye. Hang on, any 90+7 radio? Oh, 90+7 radio.
The main opportunity is turn 8.
Yeah, I know, that's obvious.
Okay.
He knows, apparently. Arrogant bastard.